How would you grade the Dallas Mavericks offseason thus far? Kevin Gray, Tim Cato, Bobby Curl, and our National NBA insider, Mark Stein. Of course, we are DLLS Mavs. It's been a busy one already for these Dallas Mavericks, getting things done with Daniel Gafford, Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum as well. And, oh, by the way, bringing in D'Angelo Russell. So, Tim Cato, how would you grade the Dallas Mavericks offseason thus far?
I think the one slight difference I will make is that I give them a good, solid A for execution of the way they went about their summer. Because their plan was to fill point guard with the free agency market, with the non-taxpayers mid-level, bring back Dante Exum if possible. We're still waiting. It's still incomplete to see exactly the additional move that's going to make that possible. But whatever it is, it shouldn't really change anything. So looking at the offseason, looking at what they were able to execute, everything that was within their own power, the way they chose to approach it, great summer, fantastic. Got what I think was, the best shooter on the market in D'Angelo Russell, something they've really needed, a player with talent, with experience. I might have gone around it, I might have gone into the summer with a slightly different vision if I were running the team, but I'm not. So I would say I would give the vision a B. I don't mind it. I would have done something a little bit differently. I think it's reasonable and it's still coherent the way they ended up going for the most part, in the sense that you still have players and things of value and the ability to pivot to Cooper Flagg when the time is right. And that's the most important thing. Like all those words I just said, they got Cooper Flagg. It's an A.
Yeah, I think interestingly, their best thing that they've done this summer is draft Cooper Flagg, which is the one thing that was really out of their control. But to their credit, negotiating that new contract with Kyrie Irving was huge. Working with him to essentially take a bit of a pay cut in year one in order to free up that taxpayer mid-level that they then gave to D'Angelo Russell was just really good negotiation work by Nico Harrison and by the Mavs front office, and obviously by Kyrie as well. Feels like everybody wins with that deal. He gets more money, more years, and more security and all that stuff, and the Mavs are able to add talent to try and hold things down while he's gone. So, just those two deals alone are excellent. I think getting Dante Exum to come back is really, really good, and I think if he's healthy, he's going to be one of their best guards until Kyrie comes back, if not their best guard, as far as his ability to play both sides of the ball and to shoot and do all that stuff. Getting D'Lo, I'm kind of with you, Tim. Like, I personally would have tried to get a higher paid guard, maybe go through the trade market or whatever, but getting D'Lo at that price point is a great deal. And then also the negotiation with Daniel Gafford, that extension. I feel like every move they've made has been really good, even if it isn't what I personally would have done. But objectively, you look at what they've done, it's been really good so far.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. They've pretty much met all the objectives that they've had. Obviously, you win the lottery after 40 plus years of just tortured lottery history. That's probably going to overshadow anything else that you could or would have done. But yeah, the Gafford deal looks like a very good number when you see what's happening in the center market. Naz Reid got $25 million, and that spurred, that was a central part of Miles Turner wanting to leave Indiana when we all thought he was going to stay in Indiana, because my colleague Jake Fisher reported this week that the Pacers were unwilling to go higher than $22 million a year for Turner, and he ended up going to Milwaukee to get a deal that paid him more than Naz Reid. So to get Gafford at the $18 million mark, right, $354. So those players are more accomplished than Daniel Gafford overall, but to get Daniel Gafford at sub $20 million, not having a second round pick, not trading for a second round pick, but getting Ryan Nebhard on a two-way, I think, was a move that the man to my left was pretty excited about when that happened. So yeah, like all, making sure you don't lose Exum. They did try for Chris Paul. They wanted Chris Paul. Chris Paul would have been the number one guy at that price point. Chris Paul didn't want to come to Dallas. If he wanted to come to Dallas, I'm sure the Mavericks would have signed him. The goal there was, can they get a player who can play in place of Kyrie Irving and play with Kyrie Irving? I think we're going to need to see the second half of that statement to really judge it. How will D'Angelo Russell, what will his role be when Kyrie Irving is back and the clear focal point of the backcourt? I don't think we have that answer yet. But to get D'Angelo Russell at that cost, to get Dante Exum back when, Dante Exum had a lot of European interest. I don't really think he wanted to act on it. I think Dante Exum very clearly wanted to stay in the NBA, but to bring him back on a minimum deal, they've got Brandon Williams. Let's see where Brandon Williams is when training camp starts in terms of how much better he is as a player. Like, they have done as much as they possibly could under some pretty serious constraints.
Yeah, this team objectively has had a good offseason. We talked about Daniel Gafford and the team-friendly deal that he took with the 3 years, $54 million. Kyrie Irving taking a little bit of a haircut to be able to open up that mid-level exception to get D'Angelo Russell in the fold. Big move by Kyrie to be able to help facilitate that. You get the deal done with Dante Exum. And, oh, by the way, you draft Cooper Flagg, and then you still also have a chance later on this summer to get P.J. Washington done as far as a contract extension is concerned. So every single item on their list that they have wanted to try and solve and get done, they did so quickly and decisively to be able to move forward, to give them this kind of vision that they are looking forward to. And with health going into next year, this team feels like, I believe, that they're in prime position, even with Kyrie Irving coming back from that torn ACL, to at least stem the tide until he does return. So based off of everything that they needed to do, I think objectively they have done a very good job of that, and I think the front office deserves the credit for doing so, again, in a decisive manner to be able to move this plan forward as smoothly as possible.
I think we got to throw the coaching staff business in there as well, because I can tell you that around the league, there has been so much curiosity about going back to May. It started, hey, I think there's going to be some big changes on the Dallas bench. I remember hearing those whispers from other teams. And so, again, we have covered this a bit in the past, but just to reiterate, you don't often see a team face approaches for all three front of the bench assistants. They all depart, and the Mavericks have been able to bring back they lose Sean Sweeney. They lost Alex Jensen. They were losing Jared Dudley, to be able to hire Frank Vogel and Jay Triano, and we'll see who ends up in the number 3 seat. But I know that internally the Mavs feel, they are very excited about the fact that Frank Vogel's been a head coach for teams already, Pacers, Magic, Lakers, Suns. Frank Vogel does not need to come back to assistant work to get his next coaching job. I do think Frank Vogel will get another head coaching opportunity in the near future to secure his commitment to come back and anchor this staff in terms of assistants. That was significant as well.
As we said, this offseason is an A because of Cooper Flagg. And for all the concerns, some of them mild, some of them maybe a little bit more than mild that I've had. Point of attack. Do you have enough minutes in the front court to play everybody? Is there going to be antsiness from players who are used to a certain role, who are now coming off the bench, who are not playing as many minutes as they expect to be? Are you not developing people further down the bench? Do you have the ball handlers? A bunch of small things. Some of them a little bit larger than others. But Dallas didn't change anything. All of the value, all of the players that are appealing to other front offices around the league, all of the picks, not many, but what picks they had, at no point did Dallas go and try to double down further on the current vision. Not to say they ever were, but the key is, if you want to try to win now, but the future of this franchise is going to be based around Cooper Flagg, there's a pivot, a changeover, an identity that is going to shift to Cooper Flagg being the be-all, end-all in terms of how you build this roster. But they didn't shift this roster more towards winning now. And so I do respect that. And I think that's the most important thing. Don't sell out. Don't go get another older guy just to boost your chances now at the expense of what's to come. LeBron James, possibly, as an example. The key is that as long as you maintain this team, you see how it works. They believe in it. There's reason to believe in it. As long as they take this team, this roster into next season, and really the season after that, because Kyrie Irving, he may not be 100% right even when he does return this year. As long as you take all of those pieces, you don't double down, and you keep the flexibility open for as long as possible, and that changeover is coming. I think it's fine to proceed this way. And that's what Dallas did this summer, in the totality of their moves.
This is a lot of like process stuff, and that's all that we can talk about right now because, of course, they haven't played the games. They will over the course of the next 10 months or whatever the case is. But the general manager has talked about the results and the results that they are wanting, and Jason Kidd, the head coach, has done that too, and the players have said it too. They want to win the championship. They don't want to win the championship in 3 years. They want to win the championship right now. And so, I think that the worries that you mentioned, Tim, some of the problems that they still, I think, need to work to solve, playmaking depth, Kyrie injuries, Kyrie's looming injury is like a huge thing because we just don't know how long he's going to be out. These are things that could hurt them during the regular season and could prevent them from getting into the playoffs. This is a team that I think when healthy stacks up just about against any other team in the NBA. They have a very, very good roster, but we know there's going to be 40 or 50 built-in missed games from Kyrie optimistically. And so, you have to be in the top 6 or ultimately the top 8 in order to win the title. And we'll see if they have what it takes to get there. But I think there's no question when this team is healthy, they're very, 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 very good. And I just personally hope that the results, pay off the process that I think has been really good.
And I just think competing now is the cherry on top. That's the bonus. The future is Cooper Flagg. Dallas has not made any moves.
Not for the GM. I mean, the Mavs believe the future is right now.
That is
Yeah,
true.
and that's the way that you have to approach it. But as long as you are not making moves to compromise
I'll
that
push back
future
real
that's
quick.
coming.
I don't think they
And
have
I think
to
it's
approach
okay.
it that way. I think they've chosen to approach it.
Well, yeah.
No, I agree with that.
That's
And I
their
think it's
stated
fine.
goal.
I think
Yeah,
it's fine
yeah.
to choose it that way.
Yeah.
So
The future is Vegas, baby.
It certainly is when it comes to the immediate future of the Dallas Mavericks as they prepare for Summer League.
And the immediate future of this show.
That's right. For the DLLS Mavs podcast, make sure that you follow DLLS_Mavs as, yes, the entire show will be in Las Vegas for Summer League for Cooper Flagg's first 2 games as a Dallas Mavericks. So
Alert the authorities.
we will be providing coverage.
It will be totally safe, I promise.
We will be safe.
speak for yourself.
Tanner on the road.
Jeez.
Goodness.
Tanner will
I
be
can't
with
even
us.
imagine what's going to happen.
I can't wait to hang out with Tanner. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't wait to hang out with Tanner in Vegas. So make sure you follow us at DLLS_Mavs for all of our Vegas Summer League coverage. Thank you to Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, the official hotel of the DLLS Mavs podcast, for helping us out. That'll do it for us here on
Copious Vegas coverage on the way.
That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. We'll talk to you next time right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good.